Why did Princess Catherine stop wearing these 6 royal jewels? We all know about the engagement ring. Princess Catherine stepped back from it during her health journey, and the world noticed immediately. But there is a whole other category of jewels, pieces she quietly set down long before that. Some as far back as 5 years ago, some even longer, and nobody really talked about it. A necklace worn twice and never again. A choker worn once on purpose. Earrings that appeared for one Scottish afternoon and disappeared completely. Tonight we're going through 6 royal jewels that have effectively retired from Princess Catherine's jewellery box. And every single reason why is more fascinating than you'd expect. The Cartier Halo Tiara. There's a particular image most of us carry in our minds. Catherine, radiant and unhurried, walking down the aisle with the Cartier Halo Tiara catching the light above her. It was the moment we truly saw her as a royal bride. And yet, that was the first and last time she ever wore it. For someone who has always gravitated toward understated elegance over grand, statement-making jewels, perhaps it should surprise us. But the halo isn't just any tiara. It's one of the most quietly breathtaking pieces in the royal collection, and its silence since the wedding feels strangely deliberate. The tiara itself has a rich history. Cartier crafted it in 1936 in a delicate palmette scroll design. Platinum set, diamond scattered, built to glow rather than glitter. It was originally purchased for the then Duchess of York, who would go on to become the beloved Queen Mother. Before finding its way to Princess Catherine, it graced the heads of both Princess Margaret and Princess Anne, a quietly well-travelled piece that had almost faded from public view for nearly 40 years before reappearing on that April morning in Westminster Abbey. The princess personally chose it for her wedding day, but why she never returned to the tiara that made history? Because here's the thing, she's never worn it again. Not once during her years as Duchess, in which she would have easily revisited it again for a state banquet or at a gala. The most likely explanation is part royal protocol, part something more personal. It's possible that for Princess, the halo belongs entirely to that one wedding morning, that wearing it again would somehow dilute what it represented. By keeping it tucked away, she preserves it as a wedding day image, frozen perfectly in time. The tiara doesn't just remind us of her wedding, it probably reminds her of it too. And maybe that's exactly the point. The Nizam of Hyderabad Necklace. There are royal appearances and then there are moments. The night Princess Catherine walked into the National Portrait Gallery Gala in 2014, draped in a midnight blue Jenny Packham gown with the Nizam of Hyderabad necklace resting at her collarbone. That was undeniably the latter. The room and the media stopped, and understandably so. This wasn't just any necklace. With over 800 diamonds and an estimated value of $85 million, it holds the distinction of being the single most expensive piece in the entire British royal collection. Princess was the first person outside of Queen Elizabeth herself to wear it publicly, a fact that spoke volumes about the trust and quiet affection the Queen had for her. The necklace carries extraordinary history. It was a wedding gift to Princess Elizabeth in 1947, presented by Asaf Jah VII, the last Nizam of Hyderabad and, at the time, considered the wealthiest man in the world. Princess Catherine wore it a second time in 2019, 5 years after that unforgettable debut, and that, quietly, appears to have been the last time. Even through the abundance of state banquets, royal galas, and significant evenings that followed, the necklace hasn't reappeared. And perhaps most noticeably, not once after the passing of Queen Elizabeth, despite the necklace reportedly being given to Princess Catherine as a lifetime loan. A deeply personal gesture from a queen who clearly saw in her the future of the monarchy. So why the silence around such a magnificent piece? There is one reason that feels both honest and deeply human. The Nizam necklace is, by all accounts, an extraordinarily heavy piece of jewellery, a substantial platinum and diamond collar that asks something physical of whoever wears it. And Princess Catherine, as we know, has been on a significant and very personal health journey in recent years. That experience has quietly but meaningfully shifted her relationship with the jewels she chooses to wear. Princess has increasingly gravitated toward lighter, more considered choices. Her Cartier Trinity earrings, a simple strand of Monica Vinader pearls, Jewels that feel like her rather than ceremonial armour. It reflects a woman who now dresses with greater intentionality, choosing comfort and ease without ever sacrificing grace. The Greville Ruby Necklace. There is something almost theatrical about rubies. They don't whisper the way pearls do, or shimmer quietly like diamonds. They announce. And when Princess Catherine appeared wearing the Greville Ruby Necklace after 3 decades of disappearance at the state banquet, held in honour of King Felipe and Queen Letizia of Spain at Buckingham Palace in 2017, it was one of those rare moments where everyone collectively leaned forward, because the woman standing there felt, just for an evening, like a slightly different version of herself. Beautiful, striking, and somehow not entirely her. Princess became only the second royal to ever wear it publicly, and the choice felt deliberately considered. Red rubies for a Spanish state visit, the warmth of the stone echoing the colour of the flag, diplomatic dressing at its most elegant and intentional. It was a remarkable moment. And then, as quietly as the necklace had re-emerged after 30 years of silence, it disappeared again. She has never worn it since, and the Greville necklace is not alone in this. Rewind to 2011, a younger Princess Catherine, newer to royal life, wearing the Muawad ruby and diamond necklace to the Sun Military Awards. Once again she wore it beautifully, once again she never reached for it again. The same story told twice. The common thread isn't the occasion, it is simply and entirely the ruby itself. Princess Catherine's jewellery choices built for cool tones, soft hues and understated luminescence. Her instincts have always reached toward blues, gentle neutrals, and the timeless quiet of pearls, stones and colours that don't compete with her presence but simply complement it. And at the absolute centre of her jewellery identity sits the sapphire. She returns to it constantly in all its forms: deep royal blue sapphires, cool violet tanzanites, midnight pendants, delicate drop earrings, stackable rings. Blue, in its many shades, is her native language, unmistakably her. Blue is home. Rubies by every measure are the opposite of that, commanding where she is composed, fiery where she is serene. Perhaps that is the truest way to understand Princess Catherine's single appearance in the Greville rubies. She wore it as it deserved to be worn for that diplomatic night, and then she returned it to its place. Queen Mary's Art Deco Emerald Choker. There are jewellery choices that are purely aesthetic, and then there are jewellery choices that are statements. Quiet, deliberate, loaded with meaning that goes far beyond the gem itself. When Princess Catherine appeared wearing Queen Mary's Art Deco Emerald Choker at the Earthshot Prize Awards ceremony in Boston in December 2022, it was unmistakably the latter. This was not simply a woman choosing a beautiful piece for an elegant evening. This was a woman introducing herself to the world, to history, and perhaps to herself. And she has never worn it since. But honestly, she may never need to. This choker has passed through royal hands across more than a century, accumulating history with every wearing. But for the world watching in 2022, this choker belonged to one chapter above all others, Diana's. She wore most memorably as a headband across her forehead at a gala in 1985, to her own birthday celebrations right up until her very last ones. The timing of Princess's choice to wear the emerald choker that December evening in Boston was not accidental. It couldn't have been. The precision of it was almost breathtaking. Queen Elizabeth II had died just 3 months earlier, in September 2022. And with her passing came a seismic shift in Princess Catherine's own identity. She was no longer the Duchess of Cambridge. She was now, officially and fully, the Princess of Wales, the title Diana had held. The title is so deeply, permanently associated with one woman in the public imagination that stepping into it carried an almost impossible weight. How do you introduce yourself as the new Princess of Wales to a watching world that still carries Diana so close to its heart? Princess Catherine's answer, it turned out, was this choker. Diana's choker. The timing was phenomenal. The statement was perfect. And the room and the world watching understood every word of it without a single one being spoken. It said, "I know who came before me, I honour her, and I am ready." That is not a message you need to repeat. Princess wore it once because in that particular moment, it was the single most honest thing she could say about who she was becoming. Some jewels mark a moment. This one turned a page. Queen Alexandra's wedding necklace. Princess Catherine has worn this extraordinary Victorian heirloom just once, at the Netherlands State Banquet in October 2018, and never again. The necklace is a monument of Victorian excess in the most magnificent sense. 8 large pearls ringed with diamonds, cascading through sweeping festoon loops, and 3 detachable drop pendants, all crafted by Garrard in 1863, at a time when jewellery was designed to be layered over voluminous gowns and wide, generous necklines. Queen Alexandra and the Queen Mother both wore it with deep décolletages and sweetheart necklines that gave the piece the breathing room it demands. When Princess debuted it in 2018, her Alexander McQueen gown was deliberately chosen to accommodate it, featuring a plunging, structured neckline that served as a blank canvas for the necklace's considerable drama. Over the years, her style has evolved towards something more restrained: bateau necklines, higher collars, modest cuts that speak to her increasingly personal and understated aesthetic, particularly since her cancer recovery. These elegant but higher necklines are simply incompatible with a necklace of this scale. The visual result would feel cluttered rather than composed. There is also the question of proportion. Princess Catherine has a slender, athletic frame, and Victorian jewellery of this magnitude was conceived for a different silhouette entirely, fuller figures dressed in layers of fabric. For the necklace to sit correctly on her, it would arguably need to be shortened by an inch or two. But as a priceless royal heirloom, altering it is not an option she would pursue, meaning it can only be worn with a very specific cut of gown, one that grows rarer in her wardrobe with each passing season. The Queen's Dubai looped sapphire earrings. These gorgeous sapphire loops have noticeably been retired from Princess Catherine's jewellery box since that one Edinburgh appearance back in 2021, and honestly it's not hard to see why. She wore them for a very specific reason that day: the blue-green tartan coat, the Palace of Holyrood House setting, a deliberate Scottish tribute, and once that moment was complete, it was almost like the earrings had served their purpose. They've barely been seen since. Part of it comes down to sentiment. Princess Catherine has always leaned towards sapphire pieces that carry personal or royal history, and a 1979 state gift from Sheikh Rashid, however beautiful, simply can't compete with Diana's jewels in that department. Diana's double clusters come out for trooping the colour because they mirror the engagement ring almost perfectly. Also, the modified sapphire studs have been worn over 60 times. That kind of loyalty to a piece tells you everything about what she values when she opens that jewellery case. And then there's the simple matter of visual balance. The Dubai earrings are wide and circular, loops of diamonds wrapping around a sapphire, and that silhouette doesn't particularly flatter Princess's lean, elongated features the way a vertical drop does. When she needed sapphires for the Nigerian state visit and had every option available to her, she reached for the Queen Mother's sapphire fringe earrings without hesitation. Long, architectural, historically significant. It wasn't even a close contest. The Dubai loops, for all their craftsmanship, just don't fit the way she likes to wear sapphires anymore. That's all for tonight. Let us know in the comments which jewel you would love to see her bring back. But before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating royal stories.